Everyone can be upstanding, please. I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land that we meet on today and pay respects to elders past, present and emerging. Now we'll observe a minute's silence as a mark of respect for the members of our community who have recently passed. We wish their family and friends peace and comfort during this challenging time. Thank you. Item 6, councillors, declarations of any material personal interest / conflicts of interest by councillors or senior officers. Councillor Lang.
I understand that Councillor Hayden intends to raise a matter relating to the SES, and as the local controller, I declare a conflict of interest.
Good. Yeah, and well, what's your intention, Councillor Lang?
I will ask the councillors if they would consider that I stay through the discussions. Otherwise, I'm happy to leave.
Okay, councillors. So Councillor Lang is seeking.
If I stay through the discussion.
So you're seeking to stay for the discussion but not for the vote?
That again will be up to the councillors whether they wish for me to participate in that as well.
Okay. Okay, councillors. Do we have that discussion with Councillor Lang in the room?
No.
No.
Leave what the councillors decide. Councillor Lang, decide whether you can participate or not.
Okay, councillors. Councillor
So
Hayden.
I don't see a problem with Councillor Lang staying for the simple reason is we're not actually we're only going to investigate it. There's no funding or anything like that. So I was only looking for a report maybe on where a location could be, or if council would entertain the idea of investigating a new building for the SES. That's my thought.
Yeah.
Thanks. Councillor Kaji.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. Look, I think it's highly appropriate that the SES controller has input into this. Just happens to be a councillor. I think Councillor Lang being the SES controller absolutely needs to have her input and her comments. So yeah, more than happy to have her in the meeting.
Councillors. Look, I've got a different view. I personally think it's cleaner. Councillor Lang's out of the room. I mean, I'm very confident that the motion, Councillor Hayden's motion, will be passed. But in terms of perceptions, it's better, in my view, that that decision's made without Councillor Lang contributing to the discussion and then voting. That's my personal view. I understand Councillor Hayden's point that it's just an investigation, but in terms of perceptions from the outside, I think it's cleaner. Councillor Billney.
Yeah, through the chair. Look, I'd have to agree with you, Mr. Mayor. She is the leader of the pack, so to speak. So her role is quite significant in that. And I think just for completeness, that she should sort of remain out of the decision-making in this instance.
Councillors?
Yep.
Councillor Spanos, you haven't spoken.
Yeah, Mr Mayor, I tend to agree with what you've just said. I understand what Kev has said also in that, but it might be in her best interest as well. That way there's no comeback, at least to her at all. It's something that we've decided on, and as you just said, I assume we're all happy for this to go further anyhow, so it just means that it's a little cleaner, as you just said. Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Anyone else like to talk? Councillor Cardew?
Yeah, Mayor, I'll move that councillor Lang is in the room for the discussion only, not for the vote. I move that.
So Councillor Cardew is moving that motion. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Barty is seconding the motion that is so Councillor Cardew, were you moving that she's here for the discussion?
Yeah, only, yeah. Not the
Discussion.
vote.
Not the vote.
Oh, sorry, take the vote out.
Discussion of them.
So we have we'll come to you, Councillor Billy. We'll just get this finalised.
But
Okay,
leave for the vote.
yes, but leave for the vote, I believe that's councillor Cardew's preference, yes. Okay, councillor Billy.
Through the chair, just a point of order, I have a problem with that. She's either in or she's not. She can't participate and not vote because there's the ability to influence still. I don't think that that's what we're trying to achieve.
Yeah, look, I'd agree with councillor Bilney on that. You know, you know, you've got to look at the big picture. We've got a newly elected council. One of the councillors is the local SES coordinator, and here we are a few months in, and now this has come up. It's much cleaner in my view that councillor Lang is not in the room for the discussion or the vote. I understand she's got all the intelligence, but in terms of this council and the perception of this council and how we make decisions, I think it's absolutely much cleaner that councillor Lang is not in the room at all at any time. Councillors, we'll go around one more time if people would like to talk. We'll go around one more time.
I can speak, okay, through the chair. Yeah, I'm happy with the fact that she's here to help us investigate and not have a vote. I think that would be fair, personally. That's how I feel about it.
Who else would like to talk before I call the vote? No one? Okay, we've got councillor Cardew's motion up there, second by councillor Barty. Those in favour? Okay, so that's 3 for and 3 against. And am I able to use my casting vote? So I'll use my casting vote to defeat the motion. So do we need a separate motion that says that councillor Lang cannot be in the... You're correct.
It's 3-3 and then the mayor's casting vote makes it 4-3.
Yeah,
Do you record it differently? That's what we're told.
yeah, it's not carried, it's lost, isn't it? That's right. It's lost.
Oh, okay, sorry. I thought you used it to. Yeah, I'm sorry. Wrong motion.
Okay, so could we have another motion that says that Councillor Lang will leave the meeting for the discussion and the vote on the matter? Yep, so Councillor Lang has a declarable conflict of interest in the matter and accordingly must leave the meeting and stay a while. We'll just leave the meeting while this matter is discussed and voted on. Okay, so I'll move that motion. If I could have a seconder, thank you. Councillor Wheeling seconding. Okay, I don't think I need to talk to this one anymore. Those in favour of the motion on the screen? So that's 3-3, and again I'll use my casting vote to carry that motion. Okay, good, thank you. Could someone ask Councillor Lang to come back? Thank you. That brings us to item 7, councillors. If there's no more declarations of conflicts, no. Sorry.
Councillor Lang about outcomes.
Oh yeah. So Councillor Lang, yeah. So we decided that it was better if you were absent from the room for the discussion in the vote.
Yep.
We thought that was clean.
No, that is.
Yes. Item 7. Confirmation of the minutes. We've got 3 lots of minutes, councillors. So we'll go to the ordinary council meeting of the 27th of June. Can I have a mover that those minutes be accepted as adopted as a true and accurate record? Councillor Barty, moving. A seconder. Councillor Spanos. Those in favour? Carried. We might just go to, we'll go to the matters arising from the minutes. That's okay. Did we have any matters arising on your record? No. No. Councillors, do we have any matters arising from the floor on the minutes of 27th of June? No. All right, that brings us to the special meeting of the 11th of July. Can we have a mover that those minutes be accepted as a true and accurate record? Councillor Barty moving and Councillor Bilney seconding. Those in favour? Carried. Matters arising? No. And then finally, we have the special meeting of 18 July. Can we have a mover that those minutes be adopted as a true and accurate record? Councillor Lang and Councillor Spanos. Those in favour? Carried. Thank you. And are there any matters arising? No, thank you. Okay, councillors, that moving along, that brings us up to item 11.1. 11.1, acceptance of funding, Department of Tourism and Sport and Recreation, Atherton Forest Mountain Bike Park. Do we have a mover of the officer's recommendation? Councillor Bilney is moving. Seconded, Councillor Spanos. Councillor Bilney.
Excuse me, through the chair. Look, I totally support the officer's recommendation to accept the funding for a business case to further the request for expansion of the mountain bike park. I think that this is a critical piece of document, which is required to support future funding requests. Noting that there is substantial competition within the local government area of Queensland, all seeing the value of having a world-class offering within their council region. So I think we've cracked a few eggs, critical eggs to date, in relation to the trail maintenance, which, you know, if we get it all right, we can possibly set ourselves aside from those others seeking funding as well. So it'll maximise and realise the park's true potential. So I thank officers for putting this report together and thoroughly support it.
Thanks, Councillor Bilney. Councillor Spanos, did you want to talk to that?
No, I'll just echo what David has said. I think it's great for our area.
Yeah, fantastic. Councillor Cardew?
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. I just want to make sure that there's no cost to council with this.
There'll be some officer time, Councillor Cardew, but that won't result in any changes to the budget or any additional outlays above those that are budgeted.
Councillor Lang?
So I've just done a little bit of research on mountain bike trails within Queensland. There are 725 trails in Greater Brisbane, 340 in Central Coast. Far North Queensland has 192 trails, 24 of which are in Atherton. On the weekend, there were dozens of cars, or on Friday, the public holiday from Cairns, that park here was overflowing with dozens of bike riders that had come up to our park. It is named one of the best in Australia through the Australian Mountain Bike magazine. So to me, it just makes sense to be supporting this trail.
Fantastic. Yeah, councillors. Yeah, look, I just want to reiterate some of those comments. I'd like to commend officers for the work they've done to get us to this point. Once we started on this process some time back, we realised it was a journey. We had to do the concept trail, concept design first. That was done. We got some state government funding for that to help. And then before the government wants to give away a large amount of money, then you have to do a business case. And this is the funding that we've got from the state to do the business case. But as Councillor Lang said, and as Councillor Bilney said, we've got an amazing resource here, and if we can get the extra funding to make this into a Derby equivalent mountain bike park, it's a boon for the Tablelands, because it just brings thousands of people. They can't ride the park in 1 day or 2 days. They've got to have 2 or 3 nights or 4 nights in town to be able to do all the riding that they want to do. So it is a great thing, and hopefully it'll all stack up pretty well. Thanks very much, Councillor Bilney.
Yeah, I forgot to make mention of the significant work that Tablelands Cycle Sports have done throughout the years on a voluntary basis. They've been critical in getting up to this particular spot in time, and they're on the steering committee. So I just want to publicly acknowledge their efforts, because they are volunteers. So without them, we wouldn't have what we've got and the opportunity.
Yeah, agreed. Thanks, Councillor Bilney. Final call, councillors. Those in favour of the officer's recommendation? Carried, thank you. 11.2, Local Government Association of Queensland. Can we move that, Mr. CEO, before we've got the names in there? How do we deal with that?
should add the names first. You can do the first part, Mr Mayor, so is everyone's comfortable that it's 2 councillors
Yep,
and 2 observers?
yep,
That's,
yep.
there has been mentioned previously that all councillors can attend. I don't have a fixed view about that, other than that budgets aren't limitless. How you choose to apply that sort of conferences and reputations part, whether we want everybody at one conference or people getting, building their skills and knowledge through attendance at different conferences within that budget. Any comment on that?
Thank you.
Don't see it as my determination, it's yours.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So can I move the officer's recommendation?
Mr Mayor,
Yeah, sorry, councillor Cuddy.
may I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Maybe open it up for discussion first, so we can get the names.
Yeah, yeah, we can do that.
Yes, you can do that. Or just move part 1 and then deal with the others separately.
Okay, all right, look, can I just have a mover of the first dot point there, that we send 2 voting delegates? So councillor Lang's moving that, and a seconder, councillor Hayden.
2 delegates and 2 observers in part 1, Mr Mayor.
Gotcha, yeah, 2 delegates and 2 observers.
Hang on,
Yes, councillor Cuddy.
how can we discuss it, here at the number, and what if you're gonna move it, you have 2 and 2? If you got 2 and 3 or 2 and 4, how do you do that?
Well, look, we can do that, councillor Cardew, and if there's going to be more than 4 delegates, we can make an alternative motion.
It would be a valid amendment, Mr Mayor, to that motion, but it's moved. It's just need to remove that motion and then amend it.
So we did have councillor Lang, and was it councillor Hayden seconding? Yes?
Yep.
On that, that's just on the first dot point. Those in favour? Carried. Okay, councillors, in terms of the councillors attending, I'd like to put myself forward to attend that conference. I believe the deputy mayor would like to put his name forward. Which other councillors would like to attend?
I would certainly.
Okay, so we've got councillor Spanos, councillor Lang.
I'm interested because there's also the Red Guardian Council
Yeah.
conference on after the LGAQ for
Yes.
an additional 2 days, so
Yes.
I'd like to go to that. So.
You'd like to tag on to that too, yeah? Councillors, does anyone else interested in going to the LGAQ? Okay, look, I think it's good that we've got, we've possibly got a total of 5 councillors there in attendance at the LGAQ. I think that's fantastic. I'd like to propose that we amend the first item to have three other councillors attend the LGAQ conference.
So you're moving that amendment, Mr Mayor.
I'd like to move that amendment. That instead of 2 other councillors, it's 3 other councillors. Just change 2 to 3, Jackie, there, thank you. Thank you. So councillor Lang and councillor Hayden moved that motion. Are you satisfied with those amendments? Councillor Lang, councillor Hayden? Yeah, thank you. Okay, then, so perhaps we'll move item 2 with the councillors' names. We can add the names in there, Jackie, so that's the mayor and the deputy mayor, councillor Spanos, Lang and Barty. Very good.
I just need a mover and seconder.
Yeah, okay. Councillors, mover and seconder for that dot point 2. Yeah, councillor Lang and councillor Spanos. Those in favour? Carried. All right, councillors, and I think we'll go now to item 3, which is the following motions that we'll take to the conference. So there are 7 motions there, councillors. Can we move them as a block? Could I have a mover that we submit the following motions as per the recommendation? Councillor Bilney and Councillor Cardew, and Councillor Cardew seconding, that we submit all 7 of those motions to take to the LGAQ. Those in favour? Carried. Thank you. Okay, councillors, that brings us to item 11.3, the Agriculture Advisory Committee. Do we have a mover of the officer's recommendation? Councillor Bilney. Seconder, Councillor Lang. Councillor Bilney.
Through the chair, look, I think the report's self-explanatory. Nominations have been made, and the recommendations there to see.
Councillors, Councillor Cardew.
Thanks, Mayor. Council received 9 nominations for membership of the Agriculture Advisory Committee, 6 from the previous term and 3 new nominations. As chairperson of the Agriculture Advisory Committee, it is my role to select members to the committee who I believe bring value to the committee. The number of nominations received were down slightly on the previous term, being 11, and as a result, as chairperson of the committee, I recommended all 9 nominations be accepted. This is my first official act as chairperson of the Ag Committee, and as a result, the CEO has seen fit to challenge my decision by excluding one of the nominees, being David Clifton. David was a councillor in the last term of council and also the chairperson of the Agriculture Advisory Committee during his term. The CEO has stated that David Clifton should not be on the committee as he does not have an agricultural background. Well, let me be clear. David Clifton was the founder of the Agriculture Advisory Committee, and if it was not for David's foresight and early recognition of the significant economic importance of the agricultural industry in the TRC local government area and the disconnect of this industry with council and his passion to improve this, there would not be an Agriculture Advisory Committee today. The Agriculture Advisory Committee is arguably the most successful advisory committee council has, and one that has gained respect from the agricultural community, who I believe now has some level of confidence in council through having a voice and connectivity directly to council, all which can be attributed to David Clifton. It was David's foresight that the motions put forward by council to the LGAQ conference last year relating to the agricultural sector were all supported and approved by all local government member delegates. I also note that a previous councillor in the 2016-2020 term who was not re-elected in the last term, was appointed to the Regional Arts Development Fund Advisory Committee in the last term of council, and again in this term of council without any questions asked. One has to wonder what has motivated the CEO to recommend exclusion of a previous councillor to this committee against my recommendations as chairperson of the Ag Committee. If council supports the officer's recommendation as presented, excluding David Clifton from the Agriculture Advisory Committee against my recommendation to have him included, I can tell you that in the following agenda item number 15, business without notice, council will be looking for a new chairperson of the Agriculture Advisory Committee. I therefore recommend the officer's recommendation to be amended to include David Clifton on the Advisory Committee. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Cardew. I'd just like to make the point that the authority for appointing people to committees rests with the council. We hear your views, Councillor Cardew, but the authority rests with this council. And Mr. Clifton's only connection to agriculture was when he was a councillor. He's no longer a councillor, and if you look at those people that have also nominated, they're either bona fide farmers representing different industries, or they're an agricultural research extension officer. So they're all bringing quite a lot of expertise about agriculture and farming to the committee. So yeah, look, I think I strongly support the CEO's recommendation. I think we've got a pretty cogent working group there with some very well credentialed farmers.
If I could just add, Mr. Chairman, just acted with consistency when people didn't have strong links to agriculture. When the first committee was established, we didn't recommend them to appointment, and that was agreed by council at the time.
Councillors? Councillor Spanos?
I've been looking at this over the last few nights, just wondering why we wouldn't include our previous councillor, David Clifton. He was the one that originally began this committee, and I just wonder why it would not be pertinent to have him included in the advisory committee because of the previous experience from the committee he would bring to that advisory committee. I'm a little unsure why I get the fact that he doesn't have any ties to farming. However, he does have experience for a previous council in his role that I think would possibly be of assistance to us. So that would be my only concern there, that I think that he's had previous involvement in the advisory committee, and I don't know that we should lose experience. I think we've done a little bit of that already. So yeah, my concern is that he would make a fair committee member through the fact that he has had experience from the previous role, and the fact that apparently he instigated the advisory committee. So that's the only thing I'd like to say, I guess.
Thanks very much, Councillor Spanos. Councillors? Look, and I just want to reiterate the point, Mr. Clifton may have initiated the advisory committee in the last term, but the advisory committee is the property of council. The fact that Mr. Clifton was involved in setting it up last term is a fact that it's a piece of council machinery that belongs to this council. So I just want to make that point. Final call, councillors. We have a mover and seconder of the officer's recommendation. Those in favour? Carried. That brings us to item 11.4. Rating Advisory Committee. Do we have a mover of the officer's recommendation? Councillor Lang, moving, a seconder. Councillor Spanoff. Councillor Lang?
I actually find this very disappointing considering the amount of community members that are so vocal about rates. But if no nominations clearly speaks for itself, so it is what it is.
Councillor Barty.
Through the chair, is there any scope to introduce the committee later on if there is more interest over time, or if that's something that we can do? Yeah, because I think maybe people didn't get it.
Again in the future.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, councillors, following on from Councillor Lang's comment, it is disappointing. It was a commitment I made during the campaign because there were a number of people advocating strongly on rates, mainly from the farming community. And I did make a commitment during the campaign that if I was re-elected, we would set up a rating advisory committee. So it is disappointing that, did we have just the one nomination? Yeah, one nomination. So that is a bit disappointing, but as Councillor Vardy has said, we can establish a rating advisory committee at any time if the community would like one. Those in favour, councillors? Carried. (11.5) Advisory Committee Minutes. Do we have a mover of the officer's recommendation? Councillor Cardew. Seconder. Councillor Billman. Councillor Cardew.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. No, and chair of this committee as well, I think that these outcomes that we've put in the report here today, there's a couple of really important ones here, I feel, and that's the left in, left out turn at the road intersection. If we can get this over the line here today, then we'll be right into the TMR to try and have that done, at least in the short term anyway, until such time as that the subdivisions off Turpin Drive there are established and we get the main thoroughfare through that intersection, that new intersection. The next one is the improvements, the intersection of Tolga Road and Grove Street, to try and get something done there and make that our priority. At the meeting, at the TAC meeting there, the first meeting earlier on in June there, it was suggested by the TMR rep that the intersection at Golfings Road and Tolga Road was their main priority, and I don't know where that come from and haven't been able to make that clear. So by putting this up here now, it will certainly send a message to TMR that it is council's intention to have Tolga Road intersection and Grove Street intersection as our priority to upgrade first, which will in turn alleviate some of the congestion on Golfings Road anyway. So this is the two main things that come out of that meeting. So yeah, I'm happy to support this recommendation and get those letters off to TMR.
Thanks, Councillor Cardew. Councillor Billman.
Yeah, through the chair, I totally agree with Councillor Cardew, his comments there. Just as a point of the minutes, I actually attended that TAC meeting as an observer, just not noted on the records. That can be reflected in due course.
Through the chair, yeah, these are the unconfirmed minutes, so we'll have them rectified in the final minutes.
Thank you.
And I apologise for the oversight.
Oh, that's right. Didn't make enough noise.
Councillor Cardew and then Councillor Barty. Huh?
It was just one other thing, in the terms of reference that we're adopting here today, I note in item 7.1, meeting times, happy with it all, except do we need to nominate an exact time we're going to have these meetings?
Through the chair, so generally the tech meetings that happen in Mariba and in Etterton are scheduled behind each other because there's people travelling up from Cairns to attend both meetings. So we're aligned to give just sufficient time for people to come from that meeting in Mariba to our meeting. So that's why we have the times in there.
Do the times need to be there? Just, I mean, we're going to have those, anyway.
I would suggest that at any time the committee, the advisory committee can decide to commence or start at a different time if need be.
Thanks.
Okay, councillors, that brings us to, oh, sorry, Councillor Barty.
I just wanted to, could I get a copy of the agenda before the next meeting? Because I didn't realise the meeting was happening. And how do I arrange that?
For sure. Who does?
Through the chair, I'll ensure that the agenda gets sent to all councillors.
Sorry, Mike.
Yeah, Councillor Billings.
I'm just looking at terms of reference, and I'm trying to read the 7.1, the actual times of that meeting. It's a little bit convoluted. Is that 12 till 2? Is that? Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, councillors, that brings us to item 11.6.
I do have to vote.
Oh, haven't we voted? Sorry, apologies. So we do have a mover and seconder. We do have Councillor Cardew's moved and Councillor Bilney seconded. Apologies, councillors. So those in favour? Carried. Okay, now I think we can move to 11.6. The F&Q ROC minutes, the 6th of June 2024. Do we have a mover of the officer's recommendation? Councillor Lang and Councillor Hayden. Councillor Lang?
I'm happy to receive those unconfirmed minutes at this stage.
Thank you. Yeah, and just to remind councillors, I actually spoke at the June Ordinary Council meeting. I actually spoke to the minutes of the F&Q ROC meeting of June. So I've actually spoken to these minutes at the last meeting from my notes. Just to remind councillors that I did that. Councillors, anything else on this one? Those in favour? Carried. Thank you. That brings us to 11.7, the new Tourism Development Advisor position. Can I have a mover of the officer's recommendation? Councillor Bilney and Councillor Hayden. Councillor Bilney.
Through the chairs, I see this role as being crucial to future tourism opportunities for the Tablelands. There is a bit of a gap there at the minute, I believe, and if we can attract someone that does have some sort of expertise in this area, I think we will do well to support it.
Thanks, Councillor Bilney. Councillors? Councillor Cardew.
Thanks, Mayor. Well, I don't mind, but the concept is effectively adding another service by council. We've had a service level review which has identified the need to reduce services. This has not yet happened, we are considering increasing our service level without any reduction and cost savings elsewhere. This will also put the budget further into deficit. So until we start to get serious about reducing service levels, I will not support adding more services.
Thanks, Councillor Kaji. Councillors? Councillor Lang?
I fully agree with Kev on this one. We're already in deficit. We need to look at what we're doing before we go spending more, definitely.
Councillors? Councillors, look, we do, as a council, we do invest in tourism in a range of ways. And one of the things that we really need to sort out is what's council's role in tourism? What's our role? And this is an important position who can come in and give us a strategic oversight. Here is all the things that are happening within your area, within your region that are tourism related. Here's what council's been doing in the past. We have been playing in the tourism space for quite a long time, not in a significant way, but we have been playing in the tourism space with some marketing money. We've got VIX that we support. So there's a range of tourism investments and commitments that we've made over time. They haven't been big, but what this gives us, it gives us a strategic look at Tablelands Regional Council, looks at what we've done in the past. What's TRC's role in tourism today and going forward? Because the whole region at the moment is just going crazy, and we need to know what our role is, and once we define that, we need to be strategic about how we go ahead and deliver it. So I think I hear what other councillors have said, but I think this is an important moment for us, because we've sort of just done what we've always done in tourism because we didn't know what else to do. But this is a really important next step for us. Councillor Hayden.
I'm not sure how to ask this question, but last month we had a presentation for Herberton Atherton Railway to support them in a plan of some sort. Is this what this person's going to be doing, or is this just a thing we look at tourism? Because if I was a tourist operator, is it going to be any benefit to me? Like, yeah, I just want to know what's actually going to be done for $100,000.
An officer might be better qualified to answer this, but I think what this is looking at, Councillor Hayden, and I'll pass over to Angelo, is a slightly higher level. You know, what's TRC's role in tourism? But I'll pass over to Angelo.
Through the chair, as part of this role, heritage and cultural activities make a huge segment of our tourism market. So part of that role will be looking at a strategic overview, but also how we can draw more visitors into the region based on our strengths, which is cultural and heritage tourism, including the activities or the attractions in Herberton.
Councillor Pillman.
Yeah, through the chair. Angelo, can I confirm, currently we don't have any money going to external agencies for marketing and that sort of stuff. So is it fair to say that money is going to be sort of consumed in this person's role whilst they develop something? And secondly, this is not a role that's potentially going to go forever. It's just limited in scope.
12-month role. Limited
in scope as far as what we're trying to achieve, as far as an overarching tourism strategy.
Correct.
Then projects such as the Atherton Herberton Rail, mountain biking, whatever, start to fall out of underneath that strategy once it's been developed.
Correct. Correct. Council previously provided to an external contractor through a tender process $25,000 a year for destination marketing activities. That's now ceased, and that role, as you said, will now look at that broad strategic approach, including all the activities and attractions in Herberton. and across the whole region and mountain biking.
Councillor Lang?
So what did we get out of that 4 years at 25,000 a year? That we now require someone else to do exactly the same thing?
So there was a set of KPIs that were attached to that tender. Majority of that was online and through social media and other platforms. We've stopped that process now because the outcomes were a bit hard to measure, and this is going to take through the report, a strategic approach, looking at our destination marketing plan to guide our directions over the next 12-month role, and then guide our directions moving forward.
So same role, just,
Well, there wasn't a role, it was an external
Oh, yeah.
contractor that did our marketing.
Yeah.
And now we're going to sort of look at refreshing that approach, being more strategic in how we deliver destination marketing. And then after that 12 months, that role won't exist anymore.
Yeah, so just a point of clarification, Councillor Lang. What we're proposing here is different to what we've done in the last 4 years. Last 4 years, we were just giving marketing money to a tourism marketing organisation. So we're not doing that now. We've said, well, what are we trying to achieve in tourism? Let's get someone who's a tourism expert to come in, have a look at what we're doing, and make a bit of a pathway forward. So this is sort of a strategic overview for TRC. It's not marketing money. Is that right?
Correct.
Yeah. So, Councillor Spanos?
So this is going to be an outside consultant, is that what we're looking at here? An external consultant of some sort?
Correct.
So it's not going to be someone that's going to be working,
Well, at this stage, we're looking at a person being brought into the organisation.
employed by council?
Basically, being employed
Okay,
by
so
council, and work closely with Angelo to
for 12
progress
months
tourism more generally for a year.
and see how that will work to go?
Yep.
Okay, so that's what the application's about?
Yep.
Okay, because I have a concern about spending more money as well, like
Yep.
most of us are, of course.
Yep.
However, I understand that we're not going to be spending the 25,000 on the previous type of marketing.
Yep.
It's going to be something completely new. I would be okay with that happening as long as it gives something back. You know, if at the end of the 12 months we know that, okay, this is not working either, I do not want it to be something that's going to be continuing. Because I'm concerned about our spending as well. So I understand that we're going to drop to $25,000, but employing someone on a 12-month basis and see how that goes, I would be okay with that.
And through the chair, as we move through the construction of Price Creek, one of the main aims and objectives of that project is to attract investment in
Yeah.
short-term accommodation.
This is
And as part of that process, these investors need to have confidence that council has an understanding or has a dedicated approach to how we're going to attract more visitors.
Yep.
And that will support that case in attracting investment as well.
So I don't think we got the value for money out of that $25,000, to be honest with you. I don't think we did. However, doing this, I think, might be an opportunity to see how it works.
Yep.
And if we've got someone that's purpose-built for that position, that brings that experience and help to the community, I think that would be okay. Yeah,
Just urge caution when we're talking about achievements from the previous spend councillors.
Yeah,
Um, We had KPIs, and my understanding is that those KPIs were met.
Oh, okay.
Whether they were sufficiently strong or not, I don't want to comment around that, but those KPIs were met. I also want to be clear that if I could just double check with the finance manager, but we didn't make that provision is gone from the budget in its entirety. So we didn't re-provide the 25,000 this year. So this is a change to the budget to accommodate, as the executive manager has already said, to get our tourism strategy sorted. We don't have a particularly strong grasp on what it is that we want to do. And I understand all the discussions around expenditure and service levels, but sometimes we need to be investing in getting more tourism, in this case, getting more tourists here. We're doing that through the provision of infrastructure. That's been our predominant role historically, I think, is the provision of infrastructure and supporting infrastructure. We're doing that, just last meeting, we're doing that at Peterson Creek to support that again. And this is how we best use those assets to leverage visitors coming here and service those visitors when they get here.
Thanks very much. Councillors? Okay, councillors, we've got a mover and seconder of the officer's recommendation. Those in favour? Carried.
Just you voted against it?
Yeah, 6-1 was my count. So that brings us to a late agenda item, councillors, which is 11.8. 11.8, attendance at AgForce Queensland Agricultural Industry Conference. So again, this one here is seeking to support councillors attending the AgForce conference in October. And we need to have the names of councillors. How will I move that, Mr. CEO? Just open it for discussion.
Well, first, sorry, Mr. probably should have changed that. The first motion should be that council be represented by a number of councillors.
Similar to the other one?
Yeah, council be represented by 3 councillors, is it, seeking to attend, and the executive manager, economic development. Doesn't strictly need to be in the council resolution, it does not, I can make the determination.
Yeah, okay.
Not for the councillors, but I can for the executive manager.
Yeah. Councillors, can I ask, was it 3 councillors with an interest, with a desire to attend? Councillor Cardew, Councillor Barty and Councillor Lang, that was okay. So I think we can just say, Jackie, that the first motion is to support 3 councillors, support the attendance of 3 councillors at the AgForce Queensland Agricultural.
And the manager, executive manager?
Yes, please. Very good, thank you. So councillors, could I just ask for a mover of the first motion, that we support the attendance of 3 councillors and the executive manager of ED to attend the Queensland. Yeah, I think you just need to put in there AgForce, after Queensland put in AgForce, or AgForce Queensland, that's good. Yeah. Okay, have a mover of that one, please. So Councillor Lang moving, Councillor Cardew seconding. Those in favour? Carried. Thank you. So now in the second one, we actually approve the attendance of Councillor Cardew, Barty and Lang.
The executive manager.
Oh, it's mentioned up at top, up the bottom.
Yeah, we just had to identify which councillor. Yeah. Okay, can I have a mover of that second motion that council approve the attendance of councillors Lang, Cardew and Barty? Councillor Hayden's moving, Councillor Spenos seconding. Thanks.
Can I just say something?
Yeah.
If that's okay? Listen, Rod, it's not that I'm not interested in going, it's just that I think we've got enough representation.
Yeah.
If that can be noted, please, I'm interested, however,
Okay.
I think we have representation there.
Yeah, okay, thanks. Thank you. Can we note that, Jackie? Is there capacity to do that, or maybe just your verbal expression to your colleagues.
Yeah, I think that would be fine,
Is
yeah.
enough,
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure those who are interested would have heard it, so
Yeah.
just, I think we've got enough representation there, so
Yeah, thanks.
I don't know that we
Yeah,
need
and
to.
normally what we do for conferences like this, councillors come back and give a bit of an update.
Of course,
Give
yeah,
a bit of an
that's what
update to
all this for.
the full group of, certainly to the sessions that they attended, because there'll be multiple sessions to attend. The ones they attended that relate to local government.
Yeah, I just wanted to know that that's how I feel about that, you know, that
Yeah.
we've got 3 there, and I don't think I need to be at that
Yeah.
as well.
Thank you. Councillor Barty?
I just want to note, I won't need flights, I'm already going down for another event, so.
It's all in Brisbane, isn't it? Yeah. Very good. So yeah, we voted on that, haven't we? Yes.
No,
No, we haven't?
no.
Okay, so the second motion, moved Councillor Hayden, seconded Councillor Spanos, approve the attendance of Councillors Lang, Cardew and Barty to the conference. Those in favour? Carried, thank you. Okay, councillors, that brings us to 12, which is infrastructure and environment services. So 12.1, permanent road closure to Rutile Street, Mount Garnet. Can we have a mover and seconder, please? Councillor Hayden is moving. Councillor Barty is seconding. Councillor Hayden.
Oh, no, I'm fine with this, it's just, I was trying to find the page about the water infrastructure, but obviously we've sorted that out with the second diagram we have. So yeah, I'm fine with it.
You're fine, thank you. Councillor Barty, did you? Councillors?
I'm okay with it as well, so.
Okay, councillors, those in favour? Carried, thank you. 12.2, Atherton Cricket Club grounds, Loader Park, Atherton and Morrow Park, Tolga. Do we have a mover of the officer's recommendation? Councillor Lang and Councillor Cardew. Councillor Lang?
I fully support the club improving their facilities. It's a great idea.
Fantastic, thank you. Final call, councillors.
We have a monitor.
Okay.
That sounds better than saying Jackie missed it.
Yep. Sorry, I'm getting there.
No worries.
Good finder.
Glad it's you and not me. I'll be a lot slower.
Wow, it sounds you. Oops. No, still not right. Wrong one. I closed it. Sorry, I'm getting there. Now I'm right.
Okay, so we've got a motion there, moved by councillor Lang, seconded by councillor Cardew, regarding the next Loader Park, which is a great thing. Sorry? And Morrow Park, sorry, yep. Loader Park and Morrow Park. Councillors, those in favour? Carried, thank you. That brings us to item 12.3, Better Together, New Community Garden. Can we have a mover of the officer's recommendation? Councillor Lang and Councillor Vilney. Councillor Lang?
Oh, this is a great initiative of Better Together. I think it'll bring the community together and give them a bit of something to do together, and yeah, I think it's great.
Thank you. Councillors? Councillor Barty?
On page 131, it asks for a recommendation of fruit trees. I was just wondering if you're going to recommend anything specifically?
We would sorry, thank you for your question, and through the chair, we would consult with our Parks and Gardens team. That was the intent. They have actually attended a site visit with us already.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll flesh that out, I guess, as time goes on, but yeah, we'll consult with our Parks and Gardens experts.
Very good, thank you. Councillors, final call. Those in favour? Carried. Item 12.4, F&Q Rock Natural Asset Management Advisory Committee and Climate Resilient Technical Committee representation. So this one here. Okay, we've got a officer's recommendation there. Can I have a mover of the officer's recommendation? Councillor Vilney's moving, and Councillor Barty. Councillor Vilney, you wish to talk to that?
Through the chair, I've been in this role previously, and I think it's important that we do have representation in these areas.
Agreed.
And I can't think of a better person to be sitting in the chair.
Fantastic, very good. Thanks very much. Final call, councillors, on this one. Those in favour? Carried, thank you. Councillors, before we go on to the next section, we might take a 10-minute break. So we'll just adjourn the meeting for 10 minutes, if that's okay. Okay, councillors, we're back on board. Thank you very much. That brings us to item 13.1, Financial Report June 2024. Can I have a mover of the officer's recommendation? Councillors, Councillor Lang, Councillor Vilney, Councillor Lang.
It's just the preliminary report, still waiting to come back from audit and everything, so I'm happy to wait and see what comes at the end of that.
Councillor Vilney.
Through the chair, just one of the, just very high level, the financial assistance grant is the big variance, the timing of such. You know, sometimes we've got it at the end of the financial year. This time it's the other side, so it does affect the bottom line. There's no doubt about that. I want to talk about on page 163 of the report, the asset sustainability ratio. Now we've had some discussions about this. There was some information in the Mareeba Express recently, and I just wanted to clarify my view of where we're at with this. It's currently shown as 67.45% as per the report. This ratio indicates the rate of renewal of our existing assets. I note that in the recent comments in the Mareeba Express targeted council's performance being well under the preferred target of 80% or greater over the long term. Interestingly, when compared to Mareeba Shire Council, who operate from a target of greater than 80% also, the difference between the two councils is due to TRC delivering new and upgraded works, in addition to just renewals. Now, there's an really important difference in that. We are currently investing in the delivery of significant new and upgrade projects such as the Ravenshoe Water Treatment Plant and Land and Water upgrades, which are now underway. We do have a sizable capital budget of 58 million, meaning that our investment in assets for our region is strong. The ratio of renewal capital being 67.45% just means that we are replacing existing assets, but we are also delivering new and upgraded assets based on community and the servicing needs. Council, over the longer term, will be embarking on 380 million capital works over the ensuing 10 years, which will continue to be a mixture of new, renewal and upgrade works. So we know that this is a fairly ambitious program that acknowledges the future growth and the need to replace our ageing infrastructure. Once essential, significant new and replacement works are completed on projects such as water and wastewater treatment over the coming years, focus will again return to renewing our existing assets. This will see our asset sustainability ratio measure reaching the long-term target of 80% as set by the state government. Council is committed to asset management and delivering on all sustainability measures. Some improvements achieved so far include the implementation of asset management plans, conducting condition assessments over our assets, and making sure that we're aligning the depreciation applied to the true consumption of our assets. All of these activities and continued strong investment in our assets will enhance our community, creating an attractive and enviable region to live in. So the message is we need to look at, over the long term, we are investing in new and upgrades, whereas the ratio really targets renewals. So we are talking different things. So I just wanted to make it clear for the new council, what we're doing, that ratio is not wrong. We are sustainable. As soon as we invest in new stuff, it's going to affect that ratio. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thanks, Councillor Billnick. Thanks. Good clarification. And yeah, we're certainly getting on and doing things, and that's reflected in those numbers. So thanks for that. Councillor Vardy.
Yeah, I just had a few questions. Erica, page 163, sundry debtors. Who does that?
So that's a whole range of things. So essentially anything out of a rates invoice is included in sundry debtors. So it could be things like dog registrations, permits to build driveways, all of those types of things fall into that space.
Okay, all right, thank you. And I just have one other question. Sorry, I didn't understand on page, it's in the report, page 7 of 8, where it's got the ECQ local government cost recovery 2024, 175,000. Is it? What's that to do with?
Sorry, what was the
page 7 of 8.
Page 7 of 8.
Yeah, it's sort of, it's right at the top, about number 4 down. Yeah,
so that's the fee for.
So we pay, that's what the
Correct.
election.
Yes, we pay for the election costs.
Radio.
Yes.
Thank you.
Local government pays for everything.
Yeah, I did this now. Okay.
Councillor Spanos.
Can I just thank Hillary the other day when she clarified those comments that were made in the table and the express, excuse me. Yeah, and on what you just said as well, David, that really clarifies everything for me, because when you look at that, the comments in the paper, they didn't look very good. They looked very negative. And but speaking with you the other day and your clarification makes me feel better about all of that. So thank you.
Councillor Cardew.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. I've got several questions with regards to non-local supplies. First one on page 2, Hayes Specialist Recruitment, Accounts Payable Officer, contractor, $40,500. What's that?
Yeah. So currently I have, oh sorry, if I ran through the chair. Currently I have Hayes, a firm, so it's an employment agency that's helping me supply an accounting officer. that is helping us process our accounts payable. So I have a vacant position there at the moment, and they're just helping me get through that period of vacancy.
Oh, so this is the relief person.
Correct, yes, yes.
Okay, on the page 3, you got Mal Engineers Proprietary Limited, Allwood Lane Bridge Design, $30,000. Is it cost us $30,000 to design a bridge?
That would be the quote that they provided us, and that would be through a competitive quotation process. And Mel provided the best value for money based on that process.
Did we go out to other quotes?
I'd have to take on notice what our process was.
$30,000
But generally we don't go single select for those type of works.
Well, you got that one on notice, Mark?
Yep.
Next one, on the same page, page 3, Mount Garnet, Warmalls Australia, Mount Garnet Pool Fire Service, 190. Why are we still spending money on Mount Garnet Pool when it's not open? Every month we seem to have some expenditure on that pool. And the fire services. Why are we spending money on fire services on a pool that's closed?
So, through the chair, although the pool is closed, it's still being maintained. We still, those chemicals, we still have that in a public space. So we need to ensure that we are legally compliant with all the requirements in relation to also fire services.
The next question is the design, detailed design for Atherton Library, $40,000. What's that about?
We'll take it on notice.
So if I can take that one on notice.
Next one. There's a couple of trial mowing, LCG Logistics, variation to road and stone maintenance. There's one item there for 16,000, and just underneath it, there's another one there for 16,000 for a variation as well. Get it mentioned there?
Yeah, so my understanding is that in both those contracts, the amount of vegetation to be removed exceeded the expectations, and therefore we had to extend those works through variations to complete the jobs.
So I missed that. Can you?
So the amount of vegetation to be removed as part of those works exceeded what we initially estimated, and therefore the jobs took longer, and we had to vary the contracts to finish the work. That's my understanding.
Traffic Services Proprietary Limited, traffic control, $100,000 nearly. And these people are obviously from outside the local government, our TRC footprint. So we should just spend $100,000. Was this over and above what the local people could do?
So we have a registered of pre-qualified providers for traffic services. There's a couple of providers on there, and generally we would be contacting the local provider first, but the local provider is not always available. We've got a lot of work that we're doing at the same time in different places, and it's often the case that the local provider can't service all our needs at the same time. That's when we then go to the next provider on a pre-qualified list.
And here it's like, it's $100,000 for 1 month, July and August, or 2 months, July and August. Is that?
Traffic control is it's not a cheap exercise, unfortunately, and the rules and regulations around traffic control have significantly increased with the harmonisation of temporary traffic control, and we have to comply with legislation.
And the last one on page 7, the Energy Project Proprietary Limited, page 2, detailed site assessments, $57,000. Anybody know what that is?
I can talk to this with the chair. So that is basically our contract consultant who is doing the energy assessments, who did the stage 1, looking at sites which are suitable for solar, did the tariff changes. The tariff changes resulted in about $130,000 annual savings. So what he's charging is well below what we gain in savings. And stage 2 will look at a detailed site assessment, including demand management and design of potential new solar systems and application for funding for solar systems, as well as the verification of the actual tariff performance, the actual savings performance that we achieve.
Thanks, Jude.
Thank you.
That's all the question.
Councillors?
Just as Councillor Lang pointed out, this is preliminary results to the end of June, and we are undergoing year-end processes, which includes an audit by the Queensland Audit Office. Once that is complete, we'll have a full set of financials that are signed. We also submit to the QAO, and that will be incorporated into the annual report, which will come back to Council for noting in a few months' time.
Very good, thank you. Councillors, those in favour of the officer's recommendation? Carried, thank you. That brings us to 13.2, after hours report. Can I have, after hours service report? Can I have a member of the officer's recommendation? Councillor Lang, moving. Seconder. Councillor Barty. Councillor Lang.
So I do support quarterly reviews, and I'd like to see those KPIs improve a little bit. I'd like to see those wait times definitely come down for our community. We're not waiting on hold or whatever so long just to have a little question answered, and sometimes it's important to them, but yeah, so that's what I'd like.
Thanks, Councillor Lang. Councillors? Councillor Cardew?
Yeah, thanks, Dan. I mean, what are we accepting in this report? The recommendation is to receive and note the after-hours service performance update. Well, the performance update is, in my mind, shocking. So what they're asking now is the service providers are saying to us that our previous KPIs was for answered calls was 30 seconds. Average speed of answering was 45 seconds. Abandoned calls less than 5%. And now they're asking for those to be extended to 60 seconds. Average wait time 60 seconds. Calls abandoned rates 10%. Getting worse, not better. This report, this whole investigation was to try and improve things. And if we adopt this report now, it's come backwards by 100%.
So through the chair, if I could just clarify, so that's not correct. The performance is actually noted in the report. So they are actually, in terms of the 80% of calls being answered within 30 seconds, they are achieving that. So that data is in the report. They're not proposing to change the level of service. What they're saying is that we are a very small customer in a pool of 45 to 50,000 calls a month. Our couple of hundred calls that they answer for us can easily get swallowed up in those KPIs that they deliver across all their customers. So what they're saying is they continue to work towards those KPIs, that's their business performance indicator, but they're making an additional commitment to us that the service to us, they will be putting things in place to ensure that the specific service to us doesn't fall below these additional KPIs. So that is an additional assurance about a level of service rather than a reduction in a level of service. They're not changing their level of service, they're making an additional commitment to us. So I think that's really important, and we will ask them, they'll still continue to report to us against their KPIs, which is the 80% of calls answered in 30 seconds, as demonstrated in the report.
Councillor Kaji.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. I don't care what that company's KPIs for others is, quite frankly. I don't care. I'm looking after TRC. We have an agreement with them. What does the KPIs in that agreement say now?
So through the chair, the KPIs are their whole of business service KPIs. That is exactly the point. So we have said to them, the KPIs that you deliver across your service is meaningless to us. We actually need to know what your commitment to our customers is. And that's why they've come back with these additional KPIs. So they're saying they are working across all their customers to achieve the KPIs that are in the agreement. That's what the agreement states. But they are making an additional commitment to us about the level of service they will provide.
Mr. Mayor, then I propose that the officer's recommendation be changed to have inserted in the agreement the KPIs that we want for our service, for TRC, not what they determine fit for their services or their business operations. I'd like to see an amendment in the officer's recommendation where we amend our user agreement with them, and if they don't want to do it, then we find somebody else. Because these wait times that have been reported here is totally unacceptable.
Councillors, Councillor Kaji is proposing, would that be an amendment or an alternative?
I think it's trying to solve a problem that doesn't exist from my point of view, Mr. Mayor. I think that the General Manager's done a good job of explaining it. I'm not sure what the Council's asking for. If we look at it, number of calls, the percentage of number of calls answered in the 30 seconds is high. And this service provides services to a number of local governments, and the General Manager sent out some information between our consideration of the agenda on Tuesday and today that says that this service does well by comparison. I think we're just wasting time, if you will, solving a problem that doesn't exist.
Councillor Hayden.
When we went out for tender, we didn't have that great, these were probably the better company that we actually took, who we asked to do our after hours calls, and quite frankly, I've held the phone for nearly 2 hours waiting for someone to answer me. Go walk around and do my housework, and by the time you finish, you're still on the phone waiting. So to me, I really don't think 30 seconds is that much to ask, to 60 seconds is a minute. I don't find that a great deal out of people's lives if you want to put in a complaint. Now, if I had to wait 10 minutes, maybe I'd probably start jumping up and down. Fair enough. But I don't know, that's the way I think, because I've held the phone for a long time just to get a doctor's appointment. So anyway, I'm happy with what's being presented. And I'm happy to accept it.
Yes, so if you would, and also having the option for having that callback service, like if people don't want to hang on the line, then I think that's a really good move too.
Councillor Kaji.
Yeah, thanks. Just looking at your figures in the report for January, February, March, April, May and June, the abandoned calls percentages is up around 20% of abandoned calls. If you wait for if you extend those wait times, those percentages are going to increase because people are going to hang up, sick of waiting. I mean, if you want to go with this, that's fine, but I'm certainly not going to be voting for it. This is ridiculous.
Councillor Lee.
In relation to Kev's comment, you've got to remember January, February, we had disaster events happening. So our calls were coming in hot and fast, and we can't answer every single one of them within the time frame. So, because I looked at that as well, and it did drop significantly as the event went down. So that's,
And through the chair, if I can just clarify, we are not proposing to increase wait times. That is not what is proposed. And also just, I think, just to note around abandoned calls that all we can do is try and provide the callback service and do as much as we can to encourage people not to hang up. We don't know the reasons that people hang up. but we did, and I provided that information to councillors, just in 1 month, we did have, of the calls that were answered, nearly 24% of those calls were wrong numbers. So those people have hung on and been answered, and it's been a wrong number. We don't, so as an example, we don't know how many of those people who abandon their calls call and go, oops. Oh,
Yeah.
Look, the other thing I'll say, you know, on page 186 there, where it's got the provider has subsequently agreed to a set of KPIs specifically for TRC. 60 seconds is not a long time when you're on hold. I mean, I won't mention names of some utility providers around here where, you know, 30, 40, 50 minutes, you just leave your phone on the table with the speaker on and wait for a human voice to come, and that's how you deal with it. I mean, we never want to be like that. But 60 seconds, really, I think that's a pretty damn good response time, if I'm completely honest, compared to, you know, the other calls that we have to make and we get put on hold. Councillors, final call. Those in favour of the officer's recommendation? Carried. Thank you.
I'll have my name.
I'll do it automatically.
That brings us to item 13.3, TRC Grant Program Expenditure 2023-2024. Can we have a mover of the officer's recommendation? Councillor Bilney and Councillor Barty. Councillor Bilney.
Through the chair, look, it's an exceptional use of community funds, going back to community organisations and individuals that are excelling in arts, craft, whatever they're doing. It's brilliant. I'm really pleased with the last council, when the initial budget had been utilised in January, we tipped in some more money to continue it because it is so successful. I think it's great. So the only thing, I've said it before, the only thing that I think that we need to do is to actually celebrate the acquittal a little bit more, either quarterly or half yearly through a forum like this, so we can actually see what the money is being used for and celebrate it a little bit better. I think that would go a long way to that acquittal process and get the story out of how that money is being used.
Very good. Thanks, Councillor Bilney. Councillor Barty.
I just have one question for the officer. Do you think there's any groups or organisations that aren't taking advantage of the grants program?
Thanks, Councillor Barty. There is an increase of applications that we've noted over more than double in the last 12 months. So the educate, we've had information sessions at the DCC here. We've gone out to community and yeah, we've definitely promoted the program and definitely promoted it after the change in the policy last year. And yeah, I think that there are community groups that I don't think there's a lot that don't know about it. I think there's a lot that need guidance through the process. And yeah, and that's what we're there for. Yeah.
Final call, councillors. Those in favour of the officer's recommendation? Carried, thank you. Item 13.4, grant of grant program 1 July 2023 to 30 June 2024. Can we have a mover of the officer's recommendation? Councillor Hayden moving and Councillor Cardew seconding. Councillor Hayden.
Okay, just for noting that the RADF grant program has been a great benefit to the Tablelands Council region, and funds have gone to priorities of cultural tourism and professional skill development for artists and artwork in the Tablelands region. And the results you can see right across the whole Shire oh, sorry, region, council, we are not a shire anymore, we're a council, across the whole region. So you can see it everywhere, and there's lots of displays, and it has really benefited the local, some locals in our area.
Very good, thank you, councillor Hayden. Councillors? Did you have anything to add?
Yep, through the chair. So we put in a request this year for a bit of extra budget. So we put in an extra 8, going up from 20 to 28 now, which has pushed us up to our maximum for AQ. So we've got another 11 grand out of AQ now. And so we're looking at delivering some programming ourselves. So we're activating the post office with more workshops going through there. We're always looking for more applicants, and that's where you guys might be able to help out. And just to sort of broaden that thought a little bit, like what could the men's sheds be doing that's got an arts focus that we can fund, because they can get up to 6 grand for projects. And you imagine what a group like the men's shed or those sort of not-profits, how they can deliver stuff with that amount of money. So just getting the word out if you can.
Yeah. Very good.
The only thing.
Thanks, mate. Councillor Barton?
Would you be happy to come and talk to the Youngerburra mention about that?
Absolutely, yeah.
Excellent, thank
For
you.
sure.
Yeah.
No worries. Councillors, final call. Those in favour? Carried, thank you. Thank you, Mark. Okay, councillors, 13.5, engagement of Roberts and Morrow Technology for a 3-year ICT managed services agreement. Mover of the officer's recommendation, Councillor Lang, moving, and Councillor Hayden, seconded. Councillor Lang?
Look, technology is an essential component of any business these days. That's just a given. It's crucial to ensure that managed services are of a high quality and cost effective for our organisation. Our collaboration with Roberts and Morrow Technology has been pivotal in shaping and advancing our organisation's technology services to the acceptable standards that we have attained today. Therefore, it is paramount for us to continue nurturing this partnership, and I fully support going with them again.
Thanks, Councillor Lang. Councillors, anyone else like to ask a question on this one? Councillor Kaji?
How did this company fare with the global blackout just recently?
So RMT had a number of customers that were impacted, I believe, by the recent CrowdStrike event, and they actively worked with their customers to get things restored as quickly as possible. We were lucky enough to not be impacted by that directly.
Sorry, is there a reason, Amanda, why we weren't impacted? I would have expected, like, local governments would have been a big target.
Yes. So,
yeah.
Because it was related to a specific security software product, CrowdStrike, we don't actually use that product. We use a different product, which is why we weren't impacted.
Good choice.
So,
Councillor Kaji?
I know I've asked this question before, and you're right, technology, we need it, but, and I've asked this question 1,000 times before, but given the global blackout the other day, would we be more suited to try and bring everything back in-house where we can manage our own stuff? You know, and I think these global blackout things are going to increase. I think, and I keep saying is, with the world that it is today, we don't need nuclear bombs and stuff to shut down countries and things. All you can do is turn the switch off on the internet and it happens itself, you know. So bringing stuff back in, you know, we've gone out, we're on this snowball that just keeps getting bigger and bigger as it goes down the hill with technology, and that's what happens when you join it. You're stuck with it. Is it time to start pulling it back or clawing it back to safeguard ourselves?
Through the chair. So in relation to that, so there is so many elements across the entire ICT platform that to bring these sorts of things back in-house if we experienced a similar event like that for TRC, we would actually need to reach out to external consultants to be able to enable us to have the technical expertise to be able to deal with scenarios like that. So given there is so much breadth that we have to cover, it would be impossible to have resources internally with the full technical capabilities to be able to deal with absolutely every possible scenario in that sort of event.
If I could just add to that also, having systems on premise, having things confined to your own servers does not secure you against those attacks. We would have to actually completely disconnect from the world, which would also mean disconnecting from our customers. So we'd actually have to, you know, to not be vulnerable to people being able to get into systems. We'd actually need to not have any means of getting in, which would mean our customers couldn't access our systems.
Correct me if I'm wrong, it's also, keep in mind, whilst it was a massive outage, it was 1%. Is it not? Of the servers that are out there or that have Microsoft on them, 1%. And it does seem huge, but it wasn't massive in terms of the impacts. But the percentage of people impacted just took a lot of people offline. Tells you how big the world is, I suppose, when 1% outage can cause so much heartache.
Very good, councillors. Final call. Those in favour of the officer's recommendation? Carried, thank you. Item 13.6, delegation of statutory powers. Can I have a mover of the officer's recommendation? Councillor Bilney's moving. A seconder, please. Councillor Hayden. Councillor Bilney.
Nothing to add on this one, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Those in favour, councillors? Carried, thank you. No notices of motion. Item 15, business without notice. We do have one from Councillor Lang. We'll deal with Councillor Hayden's notice now. Business now.
For that shoe.
Councillor Hayden.
Okay, do you want me to read the motion now?
Look, I think we can all see Councillor Hayden's motion there. Would you like to talk to that, Councillor Hayden?
Yep. So Tablelands Regional Council has had some major disaster events in recent years. Men rely on SES volunteers, and usually the SES are the first responders after an event. Our resources in Atherton are spread over 3 facilities with items stored such as rescue equipment, lighting, chainsaws, tarps, etc., which isn't great. These facilities are vermin infested and a hazard to our volunteers. In 2020, councillors were asked to build a new SES building, but a location was not agreed upon and the motion was lost.
Excuse me, Councillor Hayden, I just forgot to get a seconder.
Oh,
Councillor Barty seconding, sorry, continue.
Oh, sorry.
No, my fault.
Don't want to start again?
No, just from where you were. Thank you.
So over the last 15 to 20 years, SES and TRC have had numerous discussions about the requirements to identify or construct a new SES headquarters in Atherton with facilities securing all SES assets safely in one location and to accommodate the largest SES group in the region. This will decommission the 3 buildings and SES will have all the equipment needed in one building. I'm requesting the council investigate a fit-for-purpose SES building for Atherton in a suitable location.
Fantastic, thanks Councillor Hayden. Councillors? Councillor Kaji?
Yeah, Mayor, in the last term when this was brought up, I'm sure that what Councillor Hayden is referring to now was put in place and hasn't been done.
I don't know, I've got the motion. It was actually voted against because there's a tree out here and no one wanted to remove the tree. and put it in the location, and it was actually fell over. We had funding for it, but it fell over.
Yeah,
So
I know
it was
that,
lost.
but it all fell over because of the location requirement.
That's right.
Even though that all fell over, but I'm sure there was investigation work to be done to find a suitable location back then.
I got the motion.
Councillor Billings?
Yeah, through the chair, I'll confirm what councillor Hayden's was saying. The tree was pivotal in that decision that was made, and I believe it's met its demise now since. So, the other thing that I wanted to confirm is the decommissioning of existing assets. If down the track we do find a suitable location, and we can find some funding to support an asset, we would be decommissioning the existing structures as part of that scope of works.
So is that a question, councillor Billings, or no?
Question, comment?
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
Take that on notice and include it in any investigation that's undertaken.
Thank you.
Councillor Kaji?
Thanks, mate. Wouldn't it be best suited to have this in the 10-year plan? 10-year capital plan? I don't know why we do a special resolution. Why can't we just bring it up and make sure it's included in the 10-year
Well,
capital plan?
this is a specific action that councillor Hayden is referring to.
Yeah.
Councillor Billings?
Yeah, there's two parts for it. It's investigation for a start. That's what was being asked, and then the funding requirement down the track. If it needs to be included, that's where it'll come to council, and that's where we'll do that, I would imagine. Yeah.
Councillors? Councillor Hayden, you want to wrap that up?
No, I'm fine with that.
You happy with that?
I don't think I'm asking for money. I'm just asking to investigate the space and requirements needed for. Like I was in Mount Garnet on Sunday. I sat there. We had people from Cairns, Innisfail, Malanda. Well, I mean, what they do is just incredible. I mean, I like the drones, and where do you store it when you have mice infestation in some of your buildings? Like, to me, that equipment is very vital. SES, and I don't think it's.
I did a walkthrough yesterday, and they were so worried about like things catching on fire or like getting the boats in, and it was.
So it's just an investigation. Don't say we have to build it, but maybe.
Yeah, it's the first step. Yeah.
Can I just?
Yeah, Councillor Spanos?
Yeah, just a question. It's in the building behind us here.
I haven't got it on this.
Okay, so could we remove a building and place it back there? Is that
That's what this is going to do.
That's what we're doing. Okay.
It's actually more spread than that, Councillor Spanos. It's in the building just here.
Yeah.
I believe there's some stuff up here, and there's also SES stuff in the building below our council car park. There's SES trailers in there as well. So they've got stuff. They've got a heap of stuff that they're struggling to protect. Yeah. So councillors, I think we've discussed that enough. Those in favour of the notice of motion, sorry, business without notice on the screen? Carried, thank you. Can someone bring in Councillor Lang, please?
Yeah, new shoes.
Yeah, Councillor Hayden's business without notice was approved. Councillor Kaji.
Yep, thanks, Mayor. I wish to advise and give notice. I am resigning as chairperson of the Agriculture Advisory Committee, effective immediately. However, I will still remain a councillor on that committee.
So would you like to move a motion, Councillor Kaji, or?
I'm just giving you notice. I'm no longer the chair, Mr. Nick. I'm resigning as the chair of that committee.
Do we need a motion to discuss this, Gary? No?
I just need to appoint another chair person.
Yeah,
Councillor Billy?
yeah, through the chair, I think councillor Spanish, you're the second councillor. Sorry, Marie.
Councillor Barty.
Sorry, councillor Barty. You're the secondary councillor on that committee. I move that you become the chair.
I'll second that. Councillor Barty, are you willing to accept that?
Yeah, I'll accept that.
It's not the role that you originally
No, it is.
signed up for, so, and look, you know, I think councillor Cardew, it's pretty disappointing. You've got 8 bona fide farmers or people in agriculture that have volunteered their time to be on that committee, and because there's one person that's not on the committee, you've withdrawn yourself, and you've degraded your duty as a councillor to
Point of order, Mr.
that
Chair.
committee.
That's, the decision for me to resign is mine and mine only. I don't need a lecture from the mayor for my reasons. I've given you my reasons. As the chairperson, my first act as the chairperson of the committee was not supported by this council. So to me, that is a good indication that I am not fit for that role. So I have resigned from that committee. I am not, the fact that one person didn't get up, got nothing to do with it.
I thought that was the primary reason.
No, it's part of the reason, but it's not the final reason. My support from my colleagues in the first decision or the first recommendation that I've made, totally unsupported. That's the majority. That's the main reason. I'm still happy to be on the committee, and those other members, their status on the committee has got nothing to do with it. I'll still be there, representing the agricultural sector. I'm just not going to chair the meeting.
I don't think we didn't support you, mate. I don't think it was about.
It's already been done, councillor.
No,
It's already been done.
Okay, right. Yeah, I don't think that's how it came from.
All right, so so we've got a motion there moved by councillor Bilney, seconded by councillor Spanos, that council appoint councillor Vardy as chairperson of the Ag Committee. Anyone else like to talk to this one? Okay, those in favour? Carried, thank you. All right, very good. So councillors, that brings us to confidential. Can I have a mover that we go into confidential, please? Councillor Lang. And we'll get some words up on the screen there shortly, or they're there. Yep, so Jackie's already got them there. Can we have a seconder? Councillor Hayden seconding. Okay, so we're going to go into confidential session for the reasons stated up on the screen. Do I need to state what the agenda item is? No. Okay, those in favour of going into confidential? Okay, councillors, item 16.1. Priors Creek Development, Public Artwork. Can I have a mover of the officer's recommendation that council delegate authority to the Chief Executive Officer to terminate the contract with John Fish Proprietary Limited? Can I have a mover? Councillor Cardew is moving, and a seconder, Councillor Barty is seconding. Those in favour? Carried. Thank you. believe that's the end of the meeting. Our next meeting will be the 22nd of August. Meeting closed. Thank you.